Before we head out for the weekend, it's time to check in with Lola and Lui.
They have the top animal stories of the week in the Newshounds.
It's Newshounds Now Update with Lola and Lui.
This week on the Newshounds, some puzzled penguins
Baby lemurs.
and a curious cub.
But first, the show must go on. A sea lion performed its usual routine in its pool at a zoo in France to empty crowds. The zoo is closed due to the pandemic, but keepers say it's important to keep the animals used to their daily schedule. The flamingos don't seem too interested in the show either. Meanwhile, the chimps wait for lunch, keeping a good social distance.
Newborn ringtail lemurs and meerkats at a Greek zoo will have to wait to meet an adoring public as the park remains closed due to the lockdown. The newborns came into the world after the park was closed to the public. The zoo, located in Spada, that's east of Athens, welcomed 4 baby meerkats and 5 lemurs in April. The lockdown is scheduled to be lifted in Greece on May 4th, so these newborns will finally have some visitors.
The job of weighing a penguin just got a lot easier at London Zoo thanks to its staff's nifty do-it-yourself skills. Penguin weigh bridges made from recycled materials from around the zoo and built-in scales helped weigh in the 76-strong colony of Humboldt penguins. The bridges were placed at entrances to the birds' coastal-inspired home. They weren't too thrilled about it at first, but eventually, one by one, they crossed the bridge and weighed in.
You've heard of sheep, but get a load of this herd of sheep crossing a street in Idaho. It's the annual migration of the sheep to higher ground near Boise, where they'll graze in the foothills to help cut down on fire fuels. Lots of people showed up to count the sheep and most fell asleep. Just kidding.
Finally, we leave you with a very curious 2-month-old male leopard cub named Sasha. He has no problem entertaining himself while visitors are shut out of the Brookfield Zoo near Chicago. The playful cub took great interest in a camera placed in an animal-proof box inside the enclosure that he shares with his mother, 9-year-old Lisa. The Amur leopard is critically endangered with less than 65 left in the wild. But don't tell that to this little camera hog. He doesn't have a care in the world. This is exactly what we need right now.
And that's this week's edition of the Newshounds. Don't you love meerkats?